Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Thank you for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today, answering your questions. And 888-825-5225. Anthony, back off a 6-day quarantine in New York City in order to get to do 6 minutes on the Ryan and Kelly show.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if that's a trade or not, but it's a trade you made.
It's a trade I made.
And it was a good trade. It was a good hit.
Yes, sir.
It aired last Friday, for those of you that don't watch Ryan and Kelly. Have I got that right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a Ryan Seacrest and Kelly Ripa.
Yep.
But your segment was really strong. It was well done.
Oh, man. Thanks, Dave. Means a lot. 6 days. I like how you said that. 6 days for 6 minutes. I didn't even really put the two and two together.
It's a fair trade, I guess. But yeah, you're willing to do things I'm not willing to do. But I'm old and uglier and
Dave.
Not as desperate. And
You're just older, wiser, been in the game a lot longer than me, so I got to put in.
I've already paid some dues where I don't have to do that crap. So but I mean, it's the requirements to do stuff in New York these days are untenable for most of us.
Yes.
But you paid the price to be there, and so your Instagram was real busy because you were stuck in a hotel room with Uber Eats, and you got a lot of stuff done that week, and then got to do the hit, and then come on back here, and it airs on Friday. So well done.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave. It feels good. I mean, to be home. I didn't really understand how much I valued my home until I got back.
Yeah. Well, the other thing about you being on like Kelly and Ryan is that you're cool enough to pull that off, because I don't even use the same words. My cool factor, I'm serious. I'm in boomer land. You even had them back on their heels a little bit. It was great.
It was fun. Afterwards, I didn't know that Kelly had actually read my book, Debt Free Degree. So we was talking about that, about her and her son and how she read it last year. So it was just good to know that I was invited to be on the show because they wanted me on the show. Yeah. So that was just such a huge honor.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah. Well done. All right, open phones at 888-825-5225. Anthony is the host of The Table, which is a newly minted podcast, has been on YouTube for quite a while.
Yeah.
And this week you want to tune in for sure. I was telling Anthony before we got on the air, I listened to the first half of it on my walk this morning. That came out this morning. And, of course, it's Black History Month.
Yes, sir.
Or is it month, if I got that right?
It's Black History Month, but we're doing it for a whole week on the podcast.
Okay. And you guys are walking through that. And so some good, solid info there. The Table is about having a discussion.
Yes.
Having a conversation about everything.
Everything.
Not just race.
No.
But certainly concentrating on Black history issues and Black issues this week, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Yes, sir.
And so be sure you tune into that and learn something. It's a good, open conversation by very bright and articulate people that come around that table on different things. Last week was Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, and that was actually a real good one. I actually had a blast.
You were a little bit fanboyed.
I really was. I ain't gonna lie, Dave.
You were a little bit jacked up.
Because one of my favorite movies is Lincoln Lawyer, and so I was like, okay, this the guy, you know. So
you were excited.
I had a blast.
That interview. It's a good interview, but you were fired up.
You know, I mean, it was almost like when I first met you for the first time. Then after that,
yeah, right.
Now Dave is
not
just
even the same category. You're not fooling anybody with that. Oh, that's great.
That's fun.
All right, Anthony O'Neill, again, my co-host today. Jamie Lee is with us in Salt Lake City to start this hour off. Hey, Jamie Lee, what's up?
Hi. Yeah, I just have lots of questions, but I only got one to ask really quick. So we have whole life insurance and term life insurance, and our whole life policy costs us like $109 a month, and it builds up kind of an investment over the years. So currently we have like almost $3,000. And we still have, I want to say 6 years left in our whole life before the penalty goes away. So if we canceled now, we would lose the $2,000 that we've incurred in the last 3 years. But it does cost us $109 on top of the $40 that we pay for our term life insurance. So I'm just wondering whether or not it would be worth it for us to lose the $2,000 now and save ourselves more money in the long run, or if we would be better off waiting waiting the 6 years and then canceling after the 6 years is up.
I really don't want to spend $3,600 trying to get $2,000. That was the numbers you just gave me. Did you catch it? $100 a month for 36 months till you get to $2,000.
Well, we would have like $7,000 or $8,000 by the end of the 9 years.
Not after surrender charges. So no, I'm getting out of here. You got a hole in your pocket, sew it up, quit putting money in it.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea. No, the whole life insurance is a complete ripoff.
Yeah. I'm with you, Dave. I'm sticking with the term life insurance, and I'm definitely counseling that. I thought she said 6 years she had left. I was like, no, I'm absolutely. That's almost $6,000. So even the $3,200 compared to the $2,000, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah.
The deal is this: make sure you have the proper amount of term insurance in place before you cancel it.
Yeah.
And go to XanderInsurance.com. You can get a quick, easy quote there, a gazillion companies.
Yeah.
And you may even be able to beat the current term policy you've got, because I'll bet you got it through the same people.
Yeah.
And if you're buying term through a whole life company, it's always way more expensive term, because they want to show you that there's not much difference between the two, which there's a ton of difference between the two. Yeah, building up a cash value inside of a policy is a horrible thing. As she just told us, the first 3 years you pay extra to build up the cash value, and how much is in your savings account? Zero. How about you go down to the bank and put money into the bank, and you put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars in there.
Yeah.
A year for 3 years, and then you go down there and they say, no, your balance is zero.
Yeah. And for those of y'all listening right now, Dave said make sure you have the right amount. What we recommend here is that you have 10 to 12 times your annual income in a term life insurance policy. So I just want to make sure we added that in there.
There we go. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Life insurance is never, in capital letters, never highlighted, never a place to invest money.
No.
Number one, they keep all your money for the first 3 years. After that, they pay you 1% to 2%. After that, when you die, they keep your money again. They only pay the face value when you die. So if you build up that whole life, in her case, it's got $3,000 or $7,000 in it, and you die, they keep the $7,000. They only pay the face amount. You've been paying for cash value buildup extra, 20 times extra, because $5 will buy you the same amount of term that $100 will buy you in whole life in monthly premium. So you've been paying 20 times more in order to build up a cash value. That they keep all of it the first 3 years. It's got a horrible rate of return, and when you die, they keep your money. It's a horrible plan. It's the payday lender of the middle class. The whole life companies are screwing you. Are you listening? This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs. We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Sam is with us in Washington, D.C. Hi, Sam. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Good afternoon. Big fan here.
Thank you, sir. How can we help?
Yes, sir. So I am turning 40 in a few months, and I just honestly wanted to validate my plans for retirement later this year. I think I've positioned myself in a way to allow for that. And again, I just want to make sure that I'm not crazy.
Okay.
So as far as assets a little bit, I have about $1 million in a brokerage account, almost entirely in stocks. I have about $1.4 million in 401k and traditional IRAs, and about $700,000 in Roth IRAs. I only have a mortgage as a debt, about $375,000 outstanding at about 2.6%, and intentionally not paying that off because of the low, very low rate. My expenses in retirement are between $5,000 and $6,000, and net worth is about 4.2.
What's the house worth?
House is about 1.1.
Oh, okay. All right, that gets me there.
We have 3 kids, all under 9.
So how much of this did you inherit?
The biggest kids. 0.
0. So you did this all the way from scratch. Way to go.
Yeah.
At 40 years old. You killed it, man. So proud of you.
Thank you.
Well done. Very well done. Well, there's not anything that we're going to tell you. I mean, you got $4 million. I mean, you've done it.
Yeah.
I can give you some things I would do if I were in your shoes, but they would be fine-tuning, is all. Number one, it's ridiculous, in my opinion, that you have a house payment. I just pay off my house today. You haven't borrowed $1 million against that house, and you could, in order to invest it at a low interest rate. And the reason is you didn't like the risk. But this is a small enough risk that it didn't register on your risk meter. And I think it's just silly that you got a mortgage with that kind of assets. So I'd pay it off today. Yeah. You're asking what I would do. That's what I would do. The second thing is the $1 million in the brokerage account in stocks. Is that single stocks?
It is partly about, I would say, 80% single stocks and about 20% ETFs.
Okay. Well, you've got enough there that you may be well diversified. I personally don't play single stocks. I've got a good deal more than that in the stock market personally, between my 401ks and my other investments, but 0% is in single stocks. I don't like the risk associated with single stocks. And so I'm risk averse in that regard. And it is a misnomer that you can build a portfolio that is as safe in a brokerage account as you can build with a mutual fund. Yeah. And so, I would lean into those ETFs. I would lean into some index funds and some other things that are low turnover with that brokerage account and just let that sit there and grow. If you want to set aside a percentage of it to gamble with, it needs to be a small percentage. In your case, 300,000 or 400,000 max. But I don't personally gamble with any of mine, and single stocks are a heavy gamble. So, but other than that, I mean, you have done an incredible job.
Yeah, and Dave, and everything that you said, I would have said the exact same thing. I was going to ask him why not pay off the mortgage? 2.9%, yeah, that's a low rate, but still, you still have debt there that you can be taking that money to put into some other places. So, I mean, you hit it right on, Dave.
Yeah, but obviously, you've done an incredible job, Sam. Yeah. I mean, you're sitting there at 40 years old with that kind of net worth. Just be sure you don't think that you're ever going to get enough that you can, quote unquote, quit A, concentrating, and B, finding some way to serve. Yeah. The human spirit is not designed to rest. It is designed to serve. And you just won't find happiness in just a pile of money. It's wonderful to have a pile of money. We recommend getting one. But if you want a smile on your face, it's helping someone, serving someone, doing something. I've got many, many friends over the years that have had a liquidity event where they sold a company, or they've just done as well as Sam has done. And one buddy of mine, he sold his company out for about $15 million when he was 32 years old. Ooh. And he thought he was done. Yeah. And he went fishing.
Yeah. But he wasn't done.
And he said, I got fat and I got miserable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so 36 months later, went on a diet and opened another business.
Yeah.
Had to find something to do to serve, something to do to engage himself in humanity. Fishing is fine. Golf is fine.
Yes.
Whatever your thing is fine. That's fine. But when you do it every day, and you do it all with the idea that that's going to make me happy, and that's what you call retirement, you're just going to die.
Yeah.
And that's why people retire, and 6 months later they're dead.
Yep.
There's no meaning, there's no purpose. So that's my only other piece of advice to you is just make sure that you stay engaged. And I think that may be a little bit of why I stay engaged. Number one, I stay engaged because I'm having so much fun.
Yeah, you are.
But I lost the need mathematically to work
years ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
And so what I'm doing now is for fun.
Yeah.
And it's for the I don't know. There's a thrill of the engagement, being in the ring and swinging.
And Dave, I think that's the goal: is do what you have to do so you can do what you want to do. And you're in the season of doing what you want to do.
That's a good line. Do that again.
It's just the goal: is to do what you have to do so you can end up doing what you want to do.
It's an Anthony O'Neill version of "Live like no one else, so later you can live and give like no one else." There you go. I like that.
I like it too, Dave. Thanks.
Yeah, that may be a good book title right there. But it is. It's what was Zig Ziglar used to say. That's where I stole it from. He used to say, if you'll do the things that other people won't do, then later you can do the things that other people can't do.
Yes, sir.
And so you paid the price to win, Sam, and you've really done an incredible job. I just want you to get out of it all you're supposed to get out of it.
Yeah.
Spiritually, emotionally, relationally, and financially. Andrea is with us in Rochester, Minnesota. Hi, Andrea. How are you?
Hi. I have a little bit of a two-part question for you. Can you hear me okay?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. I'm really excited to talk to you, Dave, longtime listener and fan. My husband is currently finishing his fellowship, and so essentially our income is going to change drastically in July. And he's a physician, I'm a physical therapist, and when that happens, you have a mountain of student loan debt. So essentially, my question is, when we're working our baby steps, are we going to need to invest some in retirement while we work step 2 just to reduce our taxable income?
No.
Okay.
You need to reduce your debt.
Then I guess,
how much debt have you got? You're going to blow my mind. I don't even want to hear this.
it's $400,000.
$400,000?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't need to be investing anything. You need to be scared out of your brain. You need to be freaking out. I know in your world it's normal, but it's whacked.
It's terribly.
Okay. So get it knocked out and get it knocked out as fast as you possibly can. You don't need to worry about that. Anything else right now?
Yeah.
Beans and rice.
Beans and rice, rice and beans. For me, it's tomatoes and hot dogs. But
tomatoes and hot dogs?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Doctors eat tomatoes and hot dogs?
No,
I'm
Anthony
just saying
for me. Yeah, Anthony.
In the same meal?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tomatoes,
so
hot dog.
Freaking strange.
Yeah, it is.
That's just weird.
But that's what I grew up on, Dave.
James, do you eat tomatoes and hot dogs in the same meal?
I don't.
Good. I'm glad.
You ever heard of it in the same
feel
meal?
Better about
Only from you. You've talked about it before.
But no, seriously though, you mean what Dave is saying is absolutely right. I mean, I don't see why do you want to invest?
Well, because I don't want to pay taxes. And here's the thing: do not get sophisticated. Get scared.
Yeah.
And when you get sophisticated is when you get stupid.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, you really need to be very basic and very simple and very primitive in these early days and get the debt cleaned off as fast as you can with as deep a sacrifice as you can, to where your broke doctor friends are thinking you're crazy. Because let me just tell you, the only thing more likely to be broke than a music star is a doctor. Doctors who are broke and make a lot of money are like a stereotype. They're everywhere. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more. hobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. They're here. Bill and Tara are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Welcome. Where do you guys live?
In Ohio.
Oh, cool. Welcome to Nashville. And how much debt have you two paid off?
$53,065.
I love it. And how long did this take?
16 months.
16 months. And your range of income during that time?
From 50 to about 70,000.
Good for you. What do you guys do for a living?
I work in customer service.
And I work in the accounting department.
All right. Very good. What kind of debt was the $53,000?
Quite a bit of credit card bill, college loans, and a little bit of credit card bills.
Okay.
And his car.
And his car. Oh, his car. All right.
Not your car, but his.
Yeah, it's his.
It's his fault. What happened 16 months ago?
I found a job that I really hated, and I wanted to quit it. And I knew that we financially couldn't afford it. So I found the debt-free snowball, and I made a huge wall of it. But there it's set. And a few minutes later, I was scrolling on I was diagnosed with MS a few years ago, so I was scrolling on a Facebook page, and they said that the average life expectancy is 62. And I was like, I'm not living like this anymore. Like, I want to see the country and live and not have to worry about the debt.
Amen. So how you doing with your MS?
I'm fine. I haven't relapsed in a few years. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Fun. So she comes home and says, we're doing this. What'd you say?
I was kind of hesitant at first.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, things are going to be fine, But she's like, no, we're doing this. So I kind of went along for a little while. She kind of had to pull me at first, but once I started seeing the first debt came off, the second debt came off, and I started getting excited. I'm like, all right, this works. Yeah. And I got on board, and she wasn't pulling me along so much anymore. It was both of us working together, and that's important.
It's a big deal.
Yes,
it is.
Part of it.
Now, you went up to 70,000. So as you're on this journey, what did y'all do to get this extra $20,000?
Anything possible. We DoorDashed, Grubhub, Instacart, all of the fancy stuff.
Which one was your favorite? I gotta ask.
None of them at all. None. We still do it, and we still hate every minute of it.
Oh,
it's a lot of long days, but I mean, if you want it, you gotta want it. If it's just a dream or a wish, it's not gonna happen. You gotta want it. There's gonna be a lot of long days. You're working your first job. You go out to do your side hustle at night. You're gonna come home late. It's not fun, but it's a short time, and it's worth it.
So something made you believe it was worth it. What was that?
I don't know. I guess
you thought it was going to work, didn't you?
Yeah. And I really at my job, I started listening to you nonstop, and I was listening to everybody on the stage, and I was like, this works. Like, I come up with a lot of crazy ideas that he follows me along with, but this one I was like, let's just try it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it did.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very cool. Congratulations.
Absolutely. So I got to ask this question. You said that you didn't like none of the stuff doing it, but what was outside of that, working the extra jobs, what was the hardest thing, the hardest no throughout this process?
I'd say the budget. In the video somebody talks about a fight over just a couple of $1 movie rental, and we had that exact fight over a chocolate Easter bunny from the Dollar Tree.
Fighting over the chocolate Easter bunny.
Yes.
And he's even hollow. Who knew?
Yeah.
Now, you said something that's I'm curious. You said you all are still doing extra jobs right now, even though you're debt free. What's the purpose behind keeping that right now?
Oh, we're paying cash for a house.
Oh.
Well, hopefully by the end of the year.
Are you serious? Now, can I ask you how much of a house you're going to buy?
It's going to be small. Since I am sick. I don't want an extravagant house, so probably around 50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you. Go.
I love it.
So well done, y'all.
Yes.
Well done. I'm very proud of you.
And I got one more question, Dave.
All right.
The average person makes about $48,000 to $52,000 in America, right? So you all are right there. And a lot of those people say it's hard to get out of debt making that income. How would you encourage that person right now that's listening to you saying, I only make $52,000, but I have $60,000, $70,000 in debt? What's your first piece of advice and words of encouragement to that individual?
Find something that works for you. Something that, you're at least somewhat interested in, or just something that's definitely doable. Yeah. What works for us may not work for someone else. Wow. You have to find what works for you and just decide you're going to do it, stick with it, and work hard. Because, like I said, it's a short time to give up initially to live like no one else in the end.
There you go. Amen. Good for you guys. I'm proud of you.
I love it.
How's it feel now that you're free?
Amazing.
How long have you been married?
Going on 8 years.
Yeah. Were you ever debt-free during your marriage?
Unfortunately not.
Not until now.
Right.
I'm so proud of you guys. Yes. Very well done. Thank you for coming all the way down here to share your story.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Very well done. We've got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires, and that's for certain what your next chapter in your story is. And a paid for $50,000 house is a good start. Well done. You never know where you're going to be in 10, 20 years. So you're heading in the right direction. Very, very well done. Bill and Tara from Dayton, Ohio, $53,000 paid off in 16 months, making 50 to 70. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! That's what it sounds like when you've been Instacarting,
Grubhubbing, door dashing, doing things you don't want to do, so you can eventually do what you really want to do.
Just what we were talking about.
Just
before the break. That's exactly right. There's a price to be paid.
Yes.
The Bible says no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but it yields a harvest of righteousness. It causes change. It causes transformation. Here's the thing. Not only they get out of debt.
Yeah.
But not only is their relationship, but the relationship is impacted positively. They learn to get on the same page. I mean, once you've had the chocolate Easter bunny fight, you're at a whole new place in your relationship.
You really are, Dave.
That's a different one from the dollar store, right?
It really is.
Which means it's old chocolate Easter bunny. He's a little aged. Got a little gray around the bottom there. Yeah.
Expiration date is gone. Not
to say the dollar store would sell an expired Easter bunny, but they might.
They might.
It could happen. That could be why it's a bargain.
I've been to the dollar store quite often,
Yeah, and so, that's funny, though, but all kidding aside, once you've done that, once you've worked like this so that you don't have to work anymore, you'll never go back.
They won't go back. And look at them, Dave. They're saying, hey, we're still doing the things that we don't want to do because we want a house. And so we're not only do we want to be debt-free, but we want to be financially free and purchase our house cash.
New grooves in your brain. Yes. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. You get free samples, free shipping, and new promos all the time. Use the promo code Ramsey. They've got our question of the day, Anthony.
Today's question comes from John in Texas. My wife and I have about $150,000 in student loans, with about $25,000 being private, and the rest, to my knowledge, being federal. With the new executive order stopping federal loans until September 30th of this year, would it be wise to take the federal loan payments we are currently making and apply those payments entirely to the private loans? And once that $25K is paid off, apply the payment amount back to the federal loans. My quick answer is do not cheat the debt snowball.
Right.
Okay. Just line them up from smallest to largest and just attack it going that way. I get it. You want to go after the things that are still having interest right now. But right now, I want you to focus on gaining momentum, gaining excitement. And I want you to go after the smallest one first.
Yeah. And unless I misunderstand, this is mistyped either in the retype or the initial. There's not an executive order, to my knowledge, stopping federal student loans. I think it stops the interest.
Interest, yes.
It doesn't say that here, but it is interest on that, and that doesn't matter. You still need to list your debts smallest to largest, attack in that order, get rid of them regardless of the interest rate, get the momentum of having some wins, get the momentum of knocking things out as fast and as hard as you can.
Yes, sir.
And that changes the whole process.
Absolutely.
Well done. Good stuff.
Good catch, Dave.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Alexa is with us in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Alexa. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So my husband and I followed your plan starting about a year and a half ago, and we paid all of our debt off, which we're super excited about. And now we still have really worked hard for saving, and we've saved about $170,000 in cash. And our house is worth $450, and we still owe $270 on it. Typically, at the end of every month, I work for myself, and I pay myself the bare minimum, and I have about $5,000 a month left over. We're trying to figure out if we should take that whole $5,000 a month and throw it at our mortgage monthly, or if we should be investing that.
Are you doing baby step 4 right now, investing 15% in and investing into your kids' college already as well?
Yep.
Okay.
Are you out of debt?
Yes.
Yeah. You have an emergency fund other than the $170,000 in cash?
Yes.
So to be clear, this 170 is on top of your 6 months, right?
Yes.
Okay. And so tell me, what are baby steps 4, 5, and 6?
So I have only listened to your podcast. I have never taken your course.
Okay.
So that's why.
What is your understanding? Do you have an understanding of that at all, or do we need to kind of back up to there?
I need to back up to that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. So baby step 4 is when you invest 15% of your gross income, your household income. So are you and your husband doing that?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you doing more than that?
No.
Okay. So exactly 15% of your income is going into retirement.
Yes.
Okay. Right. So baby step 1 is $1,000 saved. You've done that. 2 is debt-free except the house. You've done that. 3 is an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. You've done that. These are the progressive steps that lead you the shortest distance between where you are today and wealth. Okay? And so then baby steps 4, 5, and 6 we do simultaneously. 4 is 15% of your income into retirement. 5 is kids' college. And 6 is pay off your house as fast as possible, which leads us to the last step, which is 7. And then you're just nothing left to do then but build wealth and be outrageously generous. So you have $170,000. And before I answer this question for you, how much is in your savings account right now? Your emergency account.
Okay, so basically we have about $12,000 in that account.
And what's your household
and
income?
We just leave it sitting there. I would say about $120.
Okay, that's not 3 to 6 months of expenses then.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly why I wanted to ask that question. So I would up that up to about $25,000.
Yep.
And then the rest of that, I will go ahead and just dump straight onto your mortgage. So I wouldn't just do $5,000. I would put the extra $5,000 towards it, but I will go ahead and dump the rest of that should be about $150,000, $145,000. Put that on the mortgage. That's going to bring you down to about $100 and something thousand, and just go ahead and tack it from there.
Yeah, and you're gonna be debt free. You're gonna be debt free in 2 to 3 years.
Yes.
Okay, that's why we're just making I want to take the course at our church, and we haven't, and we kind of just jumped the gun, and so I just want to make sure we're taking the right. I
didn't want to assume you knew all this stuff and weren't doing it. I wanted to understand where you were, not to pick at you, but just to make sure that we could take care of you. So, I think the thing to do is. Our purpose is to say, okay, out of the 10,000 millionaires that we did research on, how can we get you to look like them as soon as possible?
Got it.
And that is typically a paid-for home and a pile of money in a 401k and Roth IRAs as the first $1 to $5 million of net worth.
Got it. Okay.
After that, your net worth will start to change in its composition probably. But the first $1 to $5 million, it's going to be largely a paid-for home and a big pile of money in a 401k and mutual funds or Roth IRAs and mutual funds, that kind of a thing. And that's where we're leading you to, is because the paid-for home at your with your income and at your age is going to lead you into wealth very quickly. Because think about when you don't have $5,000 a month going on the mortgage, you've got $7,000 a month going on to, or $8,000 a month going into investments because you don't have a house payment anymore, how quickly that's going to turn into $1 million. Really, really quick.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's really cool. Really cool. But hey, great job. I mean,
yeah,
you guys
you're
are
doing
there.
amazing. You're really doing great. Hang on. We're going to send you a copy of the book, The Total Money Makeover, which gives you all the baby steps on steroids. So you get all the nuances and details of what, when, and why, and all that kind of stuff. Greg is with us in Philadelphia. Hi, Greg. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, how you doing today, Dave?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
So my question is, my wife and I currently live in a duplex. It's owned by my father, and we pay about $800 a month. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to purchase the property from my father and then rent out the other floors and just try to turn a profit on that. I just wanted to see if that would be a good investment or not.
Okay, walk through that one more time. I got lost.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's my fault.
My father owns a duplex, and my wife and I are currently living in one of the units. So we pay $800 a month in rent, and he wanted to sell it to us for $200,000, which is pretty good for the market around here compared to other houses on other rental properties on the street. And then our plan to do was there's actually 3 total units, the triplex. But only 2 of them are currently in livable condition. I was going to fix up the basement and then start renting that. So my question was, would it be a good idea to do that or just continue to, like right now we're pretty financially stable. We have no debt.
What's your household income?
Household income combined is like $90,000.
How long have you been married?
3 years.
Okay. I think if you were renting from someone else, you would not be considering the purchase of a duplex. You'd be considering the purchase of a home.
Yeah. But so you don't think it's, I mean, just in terms of just the financial investment, you don't think it's a good investment? I mean, I'm pretty good financially. I have $65,000 in index funds. I have $32,000 in a savings account and then $50,000 in a 401k.
You're doing great.
And
you're doing great.
Debt.
I just don't. I just think that making $90,000 a year as a couple married 3 years, the number of times you want to live in a duplex, and rent the place next door is very rare.
Yeah.
I mean, some people do, and I don't think it makes you a financial genius to do it, and I don't think it makes you a financial stooge to not do it. And so, I mean, I might buy a duplex, but I'm going to buy it later after I get my home and get it paid off.
And that's where I was going with you too as well, Greg. I mean, right now you're a young couple making good money. Just go buy a home first. So Dave and I, neither one of us are saying buying a duplex is a bad decision where you are, but we're saying right now, take care of home first, get a quality home for your wife, for yourself, and then down the road, pay cash for a duplex to where it can really turn into instant revenue for you.
Yeah, that's the thing. This just sounds like you're doing all of this based on the math of being a landlord and the math of, you know, I'm already paying $800 for one side, and I could have my tenant next door, and you feel like you're a sophisticated investor and all this math, and you're not thinking about quality of life.
Yeah.
The problem with having a duplex and living in one side is your renter is next door. I mean, does that not say it all?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you want to have good boundaries as a landlord, and it's very difficult to do when your renter is next door. I mean, you can do it. It's possible, but it's just a very difficult scenario to pull off and to do it well. And so I think if I'm in your shoes, I'm avoiding that.
Yeah, I am too. Trust me, I even thought about it. I don't want it. I don't want it at all. I want a house.
Well, there's something going on right now. Real estate's just become, as an investment for people in their 20s, has become a really popular subject.
Yep.
As if it's the way.
Yep.
And it is a great way to build wealth, but it's also a great way to be poor if you don't have substantial wealth.
Facts.
I mean, substantial.
Yes, sir.
This is the Dave Ramsey Show. welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where dad is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Michael is in Orlando to start off this hour. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing today?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Yeah, I appreciate the call, the time at this time. So, my question is, I just got accepted into PA school recently. I finished my undergrad last semester. No debt at all. My wife and I are completely good right now. So, going into PA school, the school I got into, it's going to be a little bit over $83,000. By the time we start school, we'll have about $78,000 in savings, about $10,000 in a mutual fund, and we should have enough to pay for it out of pocket because, of course, I definitely don't want to take out any loans.
Good for you.
So
well done.
My question, thank you, I appreciate it. So my question is, though, it's 27 months long, and we know that sometimes unexpected expenses can come along the way. I have a state retirement with about $42,000 in there, and a Roth IRA with $20,000 in there. So if it comes to toward the end of the program, and if we were to fall short a little bit on the tuition cost, what's your guys' view on using like the Roth IRA to cover the difference at the end?
No. I'm confused. Why would you fall short?
Yeah.
Well, just because
you already have the money.
Well,
you're going to spend it on something else?
No, not at all. So my wife's a stay-at-home mom. I'm not going to be able to work while I'm in PA school because of demands. I'm going to have to leave my job here. And my wife's going to be doing a little bit of work under her brother, making a little bit to just cover our monthly expenses. I guess it's just in the event. We're not expecting that will happen, but just in case, with medical expenses or unexpected things that happen, auto expenses that come along the way, if it does, my wife and I were curious if we fell short at that time, what should we like take out of the Roth IRA, or what would you all suggest if something like that were to happen?
No, no, we're never going to tell you to borrow against your future, man. What I want you to do is start planning for that now, because you're right. Life can happen, and more than likely, life will happen. But how do you start preparing for that now if you know you're 27 months down the road? So my thing is, okay, you probably can't keep a full-time job, but what can you do when you're not in school that as a part-time job to start stacking up money and start paying cash towards that as much as possible? Because there are some things you can do, but you pretty much have the cash now. But how can you keep doing something on the side, like your wife, so that way to make sure you all get through this process without racking up any debt or pulling from your 401k and your Roth IRA?
Michael, I'll tell you what's scaring. I'm tell you what's scaring me. Not so much the question, but the way you're phrasing it. It's almost like you're setting up a self-fulfilling prophecy. Like this is going to happen because you're planning. It's like you're planning for it to happen. Instead, let's plan for it to not happen and figure, okay, so here's our recommendation, and has been since I came on the air. We do not cash out retirement accounts except to avoid bankruptcy or foreclosure, and neither one of those are this issue. So the answer would be no. Now, if that's off the table, what are we going to do? When did you say you start PA school again?
May 10th.
Okay. So between now and May, I'm going to pile up extra money like crazy so that I have offset any worries I have in this area. Oh, by the way, you've done an incredible freaking job.
Absolutely.
Where did all this money come from?
So for about 3 years, so my son's 1.5. Before my son was born, my wife and I both worked full time. I was actually in school full time and in work full time for about 4 years. And what we did was, when we first got married,
you just piled it up.
We pretended like my wife's income didn't exist. And
so what did your wife do?
So before she became a stay-at-home mom, she was working in finance, and then she did a little bit of hospitality, being a server.
Okay. So, and she wants to be at home full-time with a new baby, which I'm completely on board with, by the way. Yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
So here's what would happen at Dave and Sharon's house. Okay? Number one, between now and May, we would be on beans and rice so that we had an extra $10,000 or $15,000, and then this question's off the table. If something even busted through that and we got towards the end, what would we do? We would just both go to work. And it'd be uncomfortable, and we would do wicked, weird stuff, and it would be strenuous, but it would be for a matter of 2 or 3 or 4 months. It would not be for 5 years. And you're not going to destroy your child at 2.5 years old, and they need counseling because mommy and daddy both worked their butts off for a 90-day period of time.
Right.
The kid will live through it. Mine did.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. One of the hardest 6-week periods of time in our entire lives, including the time that we went through bankruptcy, was after we had been married about 3 years. My wife had about 4 classes left to finish her degree and had never finished her degree. The shortest way to finish the degree was a 6-week cram course during the summer, and she could knock out all 4 classes and graduate. But she had to go to Knoxville, 200 miles away, and and take my baby with her, my brand new baby with her. So for 6 weeks, she would get in the car on Sunday night, and we would both cry, and she would drive to Knoxville and put the kid in daycare and go to classes all week long and come home on the weekends. And then we would cry when she went back, and the baby cried, and we all cried, and it was awful. And the baby, of course, does not remember it. She's grown now and has babies of her own. She lived through it. But Mama got her degree, by God. And we paid a price for that to happen. It was an emotional price as much as it was a financial price. But I'm just saying, that's the worst case scenario. You're going to run into something like that where you guys are just all in and you're working, and it's just like this horrible 3-4 month period of time. But to even avoid that, between now and May 4th, let's just pile up some more money. But you got to take this stuff off the table, or you're going to gravitate towards it as a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Absolutely. And you take it off the table by, just like you said, Dave, between now and May, just go ahead and work hard.
Well, it's just not even an option.
Yeah. You have to.
Maybe we don't finish our degree. Oh my God, no. But I mean, but you take the retirement. It's not an option. So if it's not an option, then we've got to. So our mind immediately starts working for other directions and other alternatives.
Yep.
Once you say that's a non sequitur, that's a non-starter, then what are we going to do? Okay, we got to figure out a different way to do it.
And you'll find it.
Yeah, but if you leave that, we can always go there, you're going to wander your butt off right through that Roth IRA before it's going to happen. You can just about count on it.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm thinking through this, is just the language you're using and how you're approaching it. And I want to reiterate, Michael, you've done an incredible job. Your wife's at home full-time with a baby. You're going to PA school. You've saved up the money. You guys are rock stars. I'm so proud of you. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. If you are trying to find the perfect Valentine's gift, consider your Consider this your friendly reminder. In order to make real progress with your money, you got to be on the same page as your spouse. You need to work together to create a budget, a plan that helps you with your future together. And to help you get on the same page, we've gathered up our best-selling books and budgeting tools and bundles for couples all in one big sale, so you can save up to 83% on the gifts that'll help you reach your financial goals. Plus, you do not want to miss our Money and Marriage live stream on February the 12th. Early bird tickets are only $20 right now, and that includes, of course, Rachel Cruz talking about money and Dr. John Deloney talking about emotional wellness and relationships as they walk with you and your spouse through a really fun date night. And you're going to learn how to have better conversations, create deeper connections, make faster progress. Go to DaveRamsey.com/store, get your live stream tickets, and check out the Valentine's Day gifts that'll help you build a bright future. Hurry, the sale, of course, ends February 14th. Gayleen is with us in Eugene, Oregon. Hi, Gayleen. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Awesome. Thank you for taking my phone call.
Sure.
What's up is I'm 59 years old. I don't have any debt. My husband and I are 42 years married, and we've raised 5 children, and I was a stay-at-home mom for most of that time. And now I'm teaching 2/3 time as a choir teacher in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I make about $2,200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And I save all of that money. And I have about $40,000 in the savings account right now.
What's your husband make?
My husband is retired. He was a teacher also, and he brings in about $3,500 a month from his public employee retirement.
Okay. Well, after 52 years of marriage, I'm going to teach you something about marriage. There's no he's and we's. There's no he's in yours. It's we. There we go.
Yeah, right. So together, we make that money together.
Yeah, together you make over $6,000 a month.
Yes.
Yeah.
About that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay.
Thank you. So now we got our house paid off last year. And we live on 4 acres in a double-wide manufactured home that's about somewhere between 30 and 40 years old.
Mm.
I'm trying, and I don't have a retirement fund that I haven't set anything up. I thought about taking out a 403B, but I didn't. I wasn't sure. I'm worried about investing any money in mutual funds because of our economic situation with the government and everything right now in the political scene. So it's just sitting in a savings, and I know that with inflation, it's probably just going to devalue, and I need to do something with it. But I've been trying to save money to build a stick frame home so that our property would be worth more.
How much money do you have saved?
I have $40,000 saved.
Okay. Does he have any saved?
No.
Okay. All right.
So we basically save all the money that I earn.
Yeah. How old are the two of you?
I'm 59 and he's 64.
How long did you say you've been married?
42 years. We got married really young.
Okay. 42. I thought you said 52 a minute ago, and I was like, that's the, I mean, even in Tennessee, we don't marry them at 9. So, okay.
Yeah, that's. I was young enough. That's a little young.
Oh, man. Okay, I got you.
So I'm trying to figure out if we should. My husband has some good skills. We did build a house quite a few years ago.
Yeah.
We sold that because of the location and the pollution problem that we had. And then we bought this little mini farm, organic
When I
place.
hear 30-year-old or 40-year-old manufactured double wide, there's all kinds of visual things running through my mind.
Right.
And most of them aren't pretty. What kind of condition is this in?
I'd say it's in pretty good shape on the inside. Like we put hardwood floors throughout, and we have, taken those ugly wallpapered walls and we've transformed them into. It looks like a real house inside.
Yeah, but what about stuff like heating and air? I mean, you have to burn the thing to heat it.
Yeah, it's heating is expensive. We have a wood stove, and so we pretty much use our wood stove for heating. But it has central air. It's just,
Okay.
It has.
Here's the way you answer your question: is project this out 20 more years. You're 79, 20 years from now.
Right.
Where are you living in your mind then? A 20-year-older version of where you're sitting now, or somewhere else?
Well, I love it here. We love Coos.
I was asking about the trailer.
Oh. In my mind, I'd love to have a nice big house where the grandkids can come and have a good time and make this property kind of like a vacation place for them to come to.
Okay. A lot of people that I know in your situation with a lot of skills and with some property that they love and time on their hands and a little bit of money, sometimes will do a staged building process. Where, for instance, I know folks that have gone out and built a really fine barn with a living quarters upstairs as stage one. In stage two, they begin to build their house. But in that case, they're getting rid of a house payment. You're not getting rid of a house payment, so that's not your move. Another stage, I see people in it, and the roof of the basement is going to be the future first floor of the house. We used to call that country built. I don't know what you call it in Oregon. It's not an ideal way to do things, obviously, and it might be only slightly better than the living conditions that you're in. It'd probably be much more energy efficient. But I don't know. I would start asking, or maybe you build a small home that is designed in such a way that it naturally and with a plan has ways to continue to add wings on it. That will be another way to do it. So you build a 40,000 square foot box, or $40,000 square foot, a $40,000 box, but in such a way that each side of it is designed that, okay, you're going to leave this room and eventually go down this hall for another set of bedrooms, and down this hall for another set of bonus rooms or whatever. Those kinds of things with a design where you can add on with cash once you've made the move out of the double wide. But if you don't go ahead and start doing that now while you're young enough that you have your health that he can swing that hammer, because I got a feeling he can build this for little or nothing, can't he?
Right. Yeah, he's got the skills to do it, but like you say, we're both getting older.
Yeah, and I don't want you to wait until you're 75 to start this idea. It won't be as palatable. But I'll bet you with him retired, he could do a whole lot in the next 24 to 36 months towards getting you guys into your first version of a stick built with cash.
And so what would you think about just taking the home that we have and gutting it and pouring a foundation and utilizing what we have and adding on to it?
You can, but does that get you where you want to be when you're 79?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if we could...
A renovated 40-year-old double wide 20 years from now will be a renovated 60-year-old double wide.
You're right, yeah.
You can do whatever you want, honey. It's yours, all right? One of the things that helps me make better decisions financially is if I can project out there and go, is the 79-year-old version of Gayleen going to be looking at the 59-year-old going, man, you were so smart, or that was foolish? Because I look back at the younger version of Dave, and most of the time it was foolish. Yeah. Oh, man. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
Cliff and I joined Christian Healthcare Ministries because we really liked the concept of Christians sharing each other's burdens. And we really experienced that firsthand when Cliff was diagnosed with heart disease. It was just such a relief to know that financial burden was going to be taken care of.
CHM is the original and longest-serving health cost-sharing ministry. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org.
Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. On the debt-free stage in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, Lauren is with us. Hey, Lauren, how are you?
Hey, Dave, how are you?
Good to have you. Where do you live?
Denver, Colorado.
Bit of a trip to Nashville to do a debt-free scream.
Yes.
Very cool. How much have you paid off?
$55,201.
Good for you. And how long did this take?
34 months.
Wow. Ooh. And your range of income?
Started at $50,000 and up to $74,000 and then back down a little bit.
Good for you. What do you do for a living?
I'm an account manager at the College for Financial Planning.
Ah, well, there you go.
And many side hustles.
The old CFP land, huh?
Yes.
All right. Very cool. And what kind of debt was the $55,000?
Mostly student loans. Had a small credit card in there, paid off a cell phone, and then cash flowed a car during that time as well.
You paid off a cell phone?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, you're really normal.
I was leasing it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you work with financial planners.
Mm-hmm.
What happened that turned you on to getting out of debt 34 months ago?
I actually started the position about 34 months ago.
Okay.
And so that was what really ignited my fire. I had a friend that was cheering me on saying, you can pay off your debt. It's totally possible. I was like, I don't make enough money for that. Got a newer position, started at the College for Financial Planning. And that's what really kind of made me realize I'm surrounded by this all day. There's no reason that I can't work hard to pay it off.
Yeah. Wow. How'd you get connected to us?
So my friend Chris Brzezinski recommended you. He paid off his student loans. He gifted me the Total Money Makeover book.
Wow.
And so when I started at the college, I started reading the book, and it was game on from there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So surely some of the people around there were cheering you on.
Oh, yes. Yes. I've had nothing but support from my coworkers, my family, my friends. Everybody's been super excited for this.
Yeah.
So,
well, we're excited for you. Well done.
Absolutely.
Very proud of you. So the Total Money Makeover book and the new job got it going.
Got it going and then hustling my butt off.
Yeah.
Had lots of jobs.
So when you say hustle,
extra jobs.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. How many jobs extra did you have?
Oh, gosh. Throughout the whole process, 4, 5 different things. Catering was always a big one for me. I bartended for the Denver Broncos. Worked at a grocery store, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, so that really accelerated it.
What made you the most money for the hours spent as your extra job?
Catering, for sure. There's a lot of food. There's a lot of potential to be making a really good hourly wage, and then tips on top of that certainly help. And you're getting to go and see different places. It's an amazing side
so you
hustle.
were working catered events. You weren't the caterer.
Both. So I don't actually cook. I'm like the bartender, the server, the the front of house type person.
I got you. Okay.
What would you say what was the hardest thing throughout this journey?
I think the discipline is probably the hardest thing, in just realizing I can do it if I set my mind to it. When I started, I was 27. And I told myself I'm going to be debt-free by 30, but I had no idea if that was actually achievable. Yeah. It did happen. Yeah. Very happy about that. But just reminding myself when I was working all the extra jobs and saying no to so many different things that it was going to pay off. Yeah. So just keeping the why important.
So you're 30 years old. You're 100% debt-free.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Oh, it's amazing. It's been 6 months and it still doesn't feel real.
I'm so proud of you.
I don't see a ring on your finger too, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Just me.
No headaches.
No headaches. No.
See, you can say something like that. I say that. Yeah. Oh man. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
So what advice do you have to a 27-year-old single young lady with overwhelming student loan debt? Because it was overwhelming.
It was.
It was crushing.
It was in Denver, Colorado. It was crushing.
Didn't believe it could be done. What advice do you have for them? What should they do and can they do it?
Say no to everything. You can have fun later. I had fun along the way, definitely, but it's very important to just keep the mindset that you can do it, you can pay it off, work hard, be successful, and keep your nose down. There's plenty of time to still do everything that you want to do, and the budget is extremely important. I have the cash envelopes that I used the whole time. I got a lot of, teases for that, and it was funny. It was funny and all of that, but it really did, once I started hitting the end, was like, okay, wow, this is actually going to happen. So just stay the course is the biggest piece of advice.
Yeah. So you're a young millennial. What's next? You're debt-free. You have freedom. What's next?
That's a good question. Well, finishing the emergency fund.
Okay. Yeah.
That's next. That'll be next month. And then after that, I want to start saving money for a down payment on the house eventually. That's the big, the big thing. Put money in an account. My car is that I cash rolled. It's 2003. Any minute now, we might need a new one. So just moving up in car, that's an exciting thing for me, and just continuing to have the freedom to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Money's not holding me back.
Well, you got margin now.
Yes.
Well done.
Yes.
So, who are your biggest cheerleaders?
Gosh, it's so hard to. There's nobody that was not a cheerleader, honestly.
Wow.
My family's here with me. My mom, my dad, my two sisters, big supporters. My entire extended family, big supporters.
They just
Co-workers,
wanted
friends.
an excuse for a girls' trip to Nashville. That's all they wanted. We know about them.
It's fair. It's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
Are they debt-free, or are they on the journey as well?
They're on the journey, but lots of big wins over here.
There we go.
My sister's paid off a lot. My mom paid off a car early. Yeah. Everybody's working. Everybody's working to do this. 'Cause it is doable.
You've inspired everybody.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Too.
Very, very well done. Yeah. And it's good to know in the College of Financial Planning that there are wise people.
Yes. Yes.
I know there's a bunch of them. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you could be leading the way over there.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. So well done. So well done. We've got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. For sure, that is the next chapter in your story. You are well on your way, young lady. Very well done. Very well done. That's impressive.
No, I'm really impressive. I was about to say something, but I'll talk about her on my show. That's because I like her. She's real cool. I just want to make sure that her future husband knows he need to be either on the journey to becoming debt-free or debt-free. That's bottom line.
If he's not, he ain't a future husband.
There you go, Dave. See? Yes. I didn't want to say that.
Hey, this one ain't picking out anybody else. I can just tell you.
Hey, no.
Good job. Well done. Good job. All right, Lauren from Denver, $55,000 paid off in 34 months, making 50 to 74. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
Yeah! I love it.
Dave,
very, very well done.
Over your 25 years of doing this, I'm curious to ask you a question as far as we're seeing more and more of younger and younger individuals coming here, paying off debt, paying off student loans. From the Uncle Dave perspective, how does that make you feel seeing that, these young people are getting the message and they're moving forward?
Yeah. When I started the show, I was 32.
Yeah, you was young then.
Shut up, Anthony. That was not the point. Shut up, Anthony. So my point is that I was their peer.
Yes.
Much like you.
Yes, sir.
And so I was the focus group.
Yeah.
It was my friends and people like my friends that I was talking to.
Yeah.
And so we had a lot of 32, 34-year-old, not as much of what we call millennials today, but they were, Gen Xers.
Yep.
Blake Thompson's age.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, right? That were coming through just slightly behind me. Maybe maybe I'd been married 5 years and they've been married, or maybe I'd been married 10 years and they've been married 5 or 6. Okay. And maybe I had kids 3 years older than theirs, but we both had little kids. Yeah. And so like you were talking to people that age group, Rachel's talking to people that her age group with those little kids, that kind of thing, or you're talking to single millennials. But the beauty of what's ended up happening with this show is with the advent of podcasting and the advent of YouTube, we've been reaching a younger audience than traditional radio reaches.
Yes.
And we want to reach everybody, but it is a lot of fun taking the calls from these 24-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 28-year-olds, 27-year-olds, 26-year-olds, single or otherwise, and are doing this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, from a legacy perspective, Papa Dave, Grandpa Dave, yeah, it's cool.
Love
it's very cool. Proud of it. I mean, she's my kid's age.
Yes.
So, you know, that's awesome. It's very cool. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. If you feel like you're stuck and you're always going to be in debt, you're overwhelmed, you don't think you're ever going to get out, well, it doesn't have to be that way. It is time for a new way of thinking. You have to believe you can get rid of the debt, and you got to take control in order to do it. We can show you how, and it won't take nearly as long as you think. It's going to hurt. It's going to be hard, but it won't take 20 years. With Ramsey Plus, we'll kick you off with 90 days of guided help so you can put more of your money back into your account, and you're going to learn practical ways to get small, consistent wins that add up to big results and better habits. You're going to change, transform. And that means you're going to get to where you want to go, and you're going to get there faster than you thought you would. Debt-free and wealthy and outlandishly, outrageously generous. So get Ramsey Plus and start living the life that you want faster. If you want to do a free trial, text the word trial to 33789. Text trial to 33789. Valerie is in Chicago. Hi, Valerie. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for taking my call today.
Sure. What's up?
So, all right, I'm 24. I am almost going to be 25 in 2 months. I make $60,000 a year at a job I completely 100% hate. I have no savings. I live paycheck to paycheck, and I have several addictions that hold me back and cause me to take out cash advances to the point where I am $1,000 in the hole every time my direct deposit hits. I've been a chronic marijuana smoker for like 7 years now, and I have been basically eating straight up Uber Eats and DoorDash for like every meal. I mean, I haven't cooked a meal in
so
like
wait a minute.
3 months.
You smoke a lot of pot and you're hungry all the time? Who knew?
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Only on the Dave Ramsey.
It's like something happens between the hunger pang and the, like, I just black out, and then there's a transaction and someone's at my door, and it just happens every time. And I just can't, I can't seem to get a handle of just, I don't know, discipline. And I want to grow up so bad. And yet I want a certain life for myself. And I just feel like I'm constantly carrying around all of this like shame and guilt because I just can't seem to get it together. And I know what I have to do, but I just don't know how to start.
Valerie, before we talk about, this, I have one quick question. Because you're saying you're in the hole $1,000 a month. What kind of debt do you have?
Payday lender, you said.
Well, okay, so I have general debt, like I have a car repossession and stuff like that, and a couple medical debts that are like $10,000.
Okay.
But when I say $1,000 in the hole, I mean I have like 10 applications installed on my phone where I can get a cash advance like instantly.
Right.
And so I literally go one by one down the list, and I just do whatever I need to do to get the next, bag of weed or meal or whatever.
Here's the thing I want to say, and then and we know Dave is going to chime into it as well. But I want to commend you for at least admitting the first step to anything to moving forward is admitting and acknowledging the fact that you have a problem. And you came on the show and you said that. The second part of that is though, Dave and I can't give you discipline. You can only give yourself discipline. And as I listen to you, one of the key things that I hear, we can give you the practical steps on how to get out of the situation that you're in, but it's so much deeper than just that. There's so much, it sounds like you don't have a reason deep down inside of yourself to why you need to stop and why you need to make a decision. So you keep going back and back and back into it because there's nothing deep down saying stop. There's no reason why that when you feel like getting another bag of weed, when you feel like getting some more food, when you feel like going and doing this, nothing can stop you deep down. And so I want to encourage you, not giving nothing practical today. I want to encourage you to spend some time today to really sit down and ask yourself why. Why do I want to give up smoking? Why do I want to give up this? And ask yourself that 5 times. And by the time you get to the 5th answer, you should be in tears. You should be emotional. That why should make you cry. And that why will push you through the price of commitment of what it's going to take to stop smoking, to stop living a life of not having discipline. And that's one thing that I would encourage you. I never had the smoking problem, but I did have the eating problem. I did have the chasing ladies problem, and I had to really develop a why and say, you know what? I'm tired of living this life, and I'm tired of living this life because I want more for my kids, want more for my future. And that why pushed me through of saying no. And so I really want to encourage you. I mean, and I want to say so much more, but that why is
the only time people change on anything, whether it's eat a bag of Oreos, whether it is any just pick a destructive habit, that we all have destructive habits or destructive tendencies. The only reason we ever stop doing them is when the pain of where we are, the disgust with the person in the mirror, becomes so great that pain is greater than the pain of change, because changing is always painful. Agreed?
Yeah, it's very painful.
Yeah. Not doing things the way you've done them and radically detoxing your body, getting on an exercise program, eating healthy, obviously stopping the drugs. All of those things are doing anything that's different than the way you've been doing it, even if the way you're doing it's destructive, is painful to change. And only when the pain of the pain of where we are is great enough. And it doesn't have to be an external pain. It doesn't have to be the doctor says, if you don't stop this, you're going to die. Now, that would be an example when we go, okay, I'll stop it, right? I don't want to die. But it can just be, what I heard in your voice as you were describing this was, when you're in this loop, you don't like you. You don't respect yourself. I'm not. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I mean, like it's almost like you were outside of yourself looking in and go, this chick smokes weed and orders everything in sight, has no money, and is in a chaotic life. I don't know who this woman is. And you're looking in from the outside, and I heard that kind of disgust in your voice. Didn't I?
It's there. It's there for sure.
And I'm not trying to shame you. I'm saying that can actually be a building block. And you go, you know what? Yeah, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Les Brown, the great motivator, and you can look him up on YouTube. He's fun to watch. Says people change their lives when they finally say, "That's it. I've had it." And Anthony's right. I can't do that for you. I can just believe in you that when you do that, you're going to see a tremendous change. But it does come. I like his suggestion best of all. We need to have, what is a really good reason for you to break this cycle?
To be honest, I watch a lot of videos about entrepreneurship, but I know that if I can't even handle my food bill, I can't handle capital or people.
Okay. So. There we go.
Yeah, I like that.
I want to start my own business. Yeah. And until I get my crap together, I'm not going to be able to do anything at that but fail. Yeah. That's what you just said, right?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah. And so there's a good why.
Yeah.
I'm going to clean up my crap here, clean up my life so I can start my own business and be a successful entrepreneur, because I want that more than I want to sit and watch Netflix reruns and order Uber Eats and smoke a joint.
Yep. And then ask yourself, why do you want that business?
Yeah, why is it you want to run your own business? That's a good question.
I think that
you hate your job.
I mean, I work in like healthcare, like finance, and I feel like a cog in the machine.
Yeah, you hate your job.
Like I've wanted something more meaningful for a long time.
Yeah, I want to do something where I can actually help people and do something that matters.
Yeah.
Did you just say that?
That's exactly what I said.
That's a good why. That's a
solid.
good reason to straighten up your crap, girl. I like you. You're awesome. Call us back. Tell us how you're doing, okay? Hold on. We're going to put you into Ramsey Plus and help you with the money stuff, but you won't fix that till you fix the other stuff either. But we're going to help you anyway. Hey, call us back and let us know how you're doing. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. My co-host today, Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author, and host of The Table, a very popular YouTube show that we have now just also started putting out as a podcast 2 weeks ago. And I actually listened to about half of today's podcast on my walk this morning. And The Table is a thing where you guys come together and you bring different people to the table for discussions on different topics.
Yeah.
And you're a good interviewer.
Oh, man, learning the best from Ken Coleman. You know?
Yeah. Ken's been doing a little training, but it's working. I mean, you're good. I was listening this morning. You're pulling ideas and probing deeper out of the panel you've got. The panel you had today is on Black History Month.
Yes, sir.
And actually, that's how the whole thing started, isn't it?
It is. It started last year of just really...
before all the racial blow-up.
Yes, and I'm thankful it did happen before then. But just really having a conversation, just understanding...
you were having a conversation before everybody started telling us to have a conversation.
Yes, sir. I really was. And so I'm grateful, man. You know, this week's podcast is just really just asking some questions, just really getting in the minds of other young African-Americans and older African-Americans, some pastors and young millionaires from Miss Shawn and Pastor Weston. And so just a great conversation. Then last week, Dave, we had Matthew McConaughey, and that was just a great interview because I was kind of like celebrity stoked for there for about a little bit, you know, because one of my favorite movies is Lincoln Lawyer. So to have him and then followed by this week with the Black History panel, I'm just grateful to have the podcast.
Well, it's a different discussion. You can ask the exact same questions of the exact same group at that table on racial issues. Yeah. A year later and get completely different answers now.
Absolutely.
There's a different level of, I don't know, people have spent more time thinking about it, thoughtfulness.
Yeah.
Different level of anger.
Yes.
Different level of pride.
Yeah.
You know, I was thinking that when I was listening to it walking this morning, because last year was so...
Yeah.
It was so open-handed and so amazing.
Yeah.
And these guys are so articulate this morning. It's a very good panel you put together.
Very good. And here's the thing, you know, it's 6 different people with 6 different opinions.
And age groups.
And age groups as
well.
well.
18-year-old up to probably, I guess, Mignon.
And
Mignon's what, in her 50s probably?
Late 40s.
Late 40s.
Yeah,
okay.
late 40s. And so, no, you're right, Dave. Yeah. Young 50s. I'm sorry. But she's brilliant. And even, here's the thing. Some of the things on there, I was like, we could talk more about this. But, I really want to give everyone just the space to say what they were thinking, what they were feeling.
It's very real. A little raw.
Very real. And that's the whole point of the podcast, because we don't just talk about racial stuff. I want to make sure that's very clear.
Well, this week is Black History Month, so you're covering it. But that's how the whole thing got started. Then you've done everything. I mean, you've had everybody on all kinds of subjects.
Yes.
Dating.
Yes.
Relationships.
Success. Money.
Yeah. Obviously, we cover money. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the whole thing of this podcast, Dave, is to have a real, relevant, and a relatable conversation around relationships, finances, and success. That's the main heart for me. I want to help young people, not just young people, but all people, really get the true mindset on how to really become wealthy, how to build true wealth, and how to build healthy relationships. That's the main goal of the show.
Yeah. Yeah, and certainly the racial discussion fits into that.
It does.
Without a doubt. That's fair.
And I got to say, I just want to say this on the air. It's like, I thank you and our team for even supporting me and allowing me to do that, because it's a conversation that needs to be had. And off air, you and I have some good, healthy conversations. And I just love that we can do that here and put that out there to just really bring love and hope to both blacks, whites, Hispanics, Jews, you name it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what it's supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
I mean, and it just, you kind of got to work at it.
Yeah.
Because you got to work past your own junk.
Yeah.
And your own background, your own upbringing.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
And because you got your own thing you came out of.
Yep.
And that means that, you didn't know those other people at that other church are actually saved. They're going to heaven too.
Right.
We thought only our bunch was going,
No.
And then you got to work your way through. You find out, well, my goodness, there's people over there with that brand.
Yeah.
They're going to heaven too. Who knew?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's very interesting to get into, and so it's called The Table, and you can watch it on YouTube. Recommend watching it, but I consume a lot of stuff as a podcast because I'm moving so much, and so I love the in fact, we've got everything on podcast now.
Yeah.
And again, it started at this time last year, and you're going to find a vast array of subjects being discussed by some people who will challenge you.
Yeah.
Whatever the subject is,
they challenge
you might
me.
not agree.
Yeah, they challenge me.
And if you because you agree with everything you listen to, you need to get out more.
No, that's true, Dave. I mean,
one of my goals here is piss people off, and I'm good at it.
Well, we all are. We all are. But you know what, Dave? One thing I learned on this panel was that there is a difference between that younger generation and that older generation in how we think. And you will see that in the panel, that the younger people were thinking a little different, actually a lot different.
About the racial issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Than Pastor Weston and Mignon. And I got to watch them kind of educate the younger people on why they should change their thinking. And that I was very pleased to see that. And it just helped me know what I need to be doing more often on my show.
Well, what was one of the things you noticed that you said the older generation would be what? They would be more what?
Not blaming. Just to be transparent, not blaming white people.
Okay. And not saying. The part I listened to, Mignon. Of course, Mignon is a uber successful.
Yes.
Multi-million-dollar organization, has grown from nothing, has grown a business. One of the best cupcakes in the world is literally made here in Tennessee by her,
right?
Mignon Francois, and you need to look her up. She's an incredible entrepreneur, and she bootstrapped that thing completely. So she does not allow you to make excuses based on the color of your skin.
Absolutely not.
You can't blame it on nobody else. It's your fault.
Cannot.
And she brings it. She gonna mama you on that.
She really does.
I love her.
And she says, "No, we can't say that. We cannot. We can't play the victim." And she really
whether it's true or not.
Exactly.
It doesn't benefit you. I heard her talking that through. That was very interesting.
Yeah. And I love that. And I hope that younger people see it and they're challenged by it. Because it's a conversation, again, that needed to be had.
Yeah.
And I'm just grateful to have it.
Well, it's eye-opening too. Yeah. You get to hear a different tone and a different look. So check it out, guys. It's challenging you. That's what we're here for. We want you to think about things and grow and be better. If you're the same person next year you were this year, we failed. Our goals mess with you.
Sure do.
And 100% of growth is uncomfortable. Me too. Me too. The only growth that's not uncomfortable is getting fat. That's the only one. The rest of them are uncomfortable. And so, the rest of everything else we do, if I'm going to lose weight, if I'm going to get in better shape, if I'm going to, have a better spiritual walk, have better race relations, if I'm going to understand what somebody's been through that I hadn't been through on either side of any equation, if I'm going to get out of debt, it's going to be uncomfortable.
Yes.
It's an uncomfortable process. And we're here to walk with you through that discomfort because we want you to win. Very cool. The Table with Anthony O'Neill, podcast, YouTube, any way you want to consume it, you need to check it out, and particularly this week's episode. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help get you there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com to find out more. Folks, 2020 was absolutely nuts. Your 2020 taxes may be a bit more complicated because of it. First off, if you drew unemployment, keep in mind this is taxable. Unemployment checks are taxable income. Another big thing to keep in mind is remote working. If you left your resident state to work remotely from another state, you might have income tax in that state. You likely will. Isn't always the case. It depends on the state you live in and how long you work there, all that kind of stuff, but you need somebody to help you. If you're unsure about 2020 because it made your taxes different this year, take our tax quiz. You may be able to do a simple return with software, or you may need a professional to help you. Our tax quiz will help you figure that out. It costs nothing to take the quiz. Do you need a pro or do you need tax software? What's the easiest and least expensive way to get this done? Tax quiz. That's what you text. Text tax quiz, no spaces, to 33789. Tax quiz, no spaces, to 33789. Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. AJ is in Bloomington, Illinois. Hi, AJ. How are you?
Hey, great. How's it going?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to say God is good and He's listening. That's all I want to say. I'm 51 years old in 7 days and lost my job 2 weeks ago. And so I've got 2 kids in college. I was 100% invested in my 401k and my Roth IRA. I got some debt, so I laid myself out and prayed this morning and was going through YouTube and hit reset. That came up as a little tab on the thing over there when I was looking at investing stuff. So I watched your reset program. And then I'm like, well, I think I'm going to call the program and see if I can get through and see what he thinks about what's going on with me. So
And you got
so
through.
Here I am.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's just all God. He's there and He's listening. So
Amen.
I'm a little humbled, but I'm also scared out of my mind, too.
Me too.
You can probably tell by the shaking in my voice.
Me too.
So as I said, I worked for 12 years. I was 100% vested, and I had a 3-year annual rate of return of around 11.55 coming back. So I basically had about $312,000 total for retirement. But I also have about $100,000 worth of debt that, with this reset thing, I'm really starting to think I've got 15 good years left. How do I want to spend them? You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, even though it's painful to take a hit, to take $120,000 out of the 401k Roth IRA to get rid of all the debt and try to move forward in something that I can be, I don't know, happy with and excited about, I guess.
What did you used to make?
Well, it fluctuated. I'm in the auto industry. I was in sales starting out. Then
What'd you make last year? What'd you make last year?
89,000.
Okay, that a pretty typical year?
That's about average.
What were you doing?
Finance and insurance.
Okay, good. And so inside like a car dealer.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Did you ever sell cars, AJ?
Oh, I did. Yeah, and that's actually did better when I was a salesperson than I did.
That's what I was thinking.
Finance, but there was a reason why I dropped back. My son going to college is one of the colleges up in upstate New York that's needs based. And to try to help out, I thought maybe take a step back and try something new, get myself a little bit more versed in the rest of the car industry, and learn it all. You know what I mean? And so I took a step backwards, and it also went backwards in pay. And I had things under control, but then
you didn't
with everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly right. Then COVID happened, and sales are down by 40% across the board, and so changes get made. And old
so
guys
AJ, are you saying that you're retiring as far as in like
no, he's just looking for another job.
Another job, right? All right, cool. So that's what I was going to say.
I'm in the middle of looking for another job, but I mean, my biggest question is, I just want to be done with this debt, like you said.
Yeah.
I just want to say no, and I want to be able to, when I get to the point, be able to be that guy that's standing, in a line, and if somebody needs help,
Amen.
Pay for it.
You're a good man.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I heard. Okay. This losing this job hurt.
Oh yeah.
Emotionally. And you're still trying to get your feet back under you. It's still real fresh, and you're still trying to feel like you again right now. And we tell folks not to cash out retirement to pay off debt unless it's to avoid bankruptcy or foreclosure, because you're going to give the government too much money, and you're eating it up. It would feel really good right now while you're hurting and trying to get your feet moving again to have no debt. And so I can understand how you'd gravitate towards that. And I want you to be out of debt. I mean, you watched Reset. That's what we do. We teach people how to get out of debt. I think you're going to get another job, and I think you're going to be making $120 a year. And I think if you paid $30,000 or $40,000 a year, you're going to be debt free in 2 years and some change without messing up your retirement plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
But right now, while you're still trying to get your breath after you got throat punched, it's hard to kind of believe that. But I can sit on the outside of your pain and look at you and go, this is a guy consistently is made in the six-figure range and can pretty much do it on recall. I mean, the biggest problem with the auto industry is not that cars aren't selling. It's that they are selling and they're not making them.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't get inventory.
No.
That's the problem they've got. I mean, everybody I know in that world, the boat world, the recreational vehicle world, the car world, they can't get inventory and stuff. So they've had record sales, but they can't get, and so that's why sales are off 40%. It's not because nobody buying a stinking car. They're buying them off. You can't keep them. And the buddies that I've got that own car dealerships, they had some of them had the best year of their lives last year till they ran out of cars.
Yes, sir.
And so I think you're a guy that is, the groove in your brain, the rhythm of your life is right around the six-figure mark. And I think if you turn the heat up on that just a little bit, because you got a really big, exciting why, is I want to be out of this debt so I'm not vulnerable. The next time somebody comes along and tries to pull crap like this, I'll be a little bit more independent. From a financial standpoint, I'll be that third pig. And I think that's where you're headed. So the answer to your question, sir, is I understand you're hurting. Don't use that part to make this decision. Yeah. Do not cash this out. Get back on your feet. Get moving. Go to KenColeman.com. Get Ken Coleman stuff that we've got on career. Start feeding your spirit again. I'm talking to a guy who has the ability in the next 90 days to land a $120,000 a year type position.
I agree.
Don't you think?
I absolutely do, Dave. The key word here is patience. Just patience and
believing.
Believing, patience, and don't respond off of your emotions right now.
Yeah. When somebody calls your baby ugly, it's hard to not think they're ugly for a few minutes.
Yeah.
And when they look at you and go, "You're not worthy," a throat punch, "You're out of here. I'm gonna knock the crap out of you."
Yeah.
It's hard to get right back on your feet. But the thing I know about guys that are wired like you, AJ, because I grew up in sales my whole life, I've been in it, is I know a guy who can move stuff around like that and can cause a transaction to occur at a level where they're making 100, 120. Once you've ridden that bike, you know how to ride it.
Yep.
And I will be shocked if you're not back on that bike soon, as long as you believe that you can still ride the bike.
Yeah.
Now, if you think I'll never be able to do it again, then guess what? You'll never do it again. But I'm telling you, I'm listening to you. I'm talking to a guy that I think can make that kind of money. Go to kencoleman.com, download a bunch of his stuff. Hold on. I'm going to have Kelly give you a copy of his book, The Proximity Principle. Your biggest crisis is a career crisis and the emotional effects of getting fired. And once you get past those, you're going to solve your debt problem in no time. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices. And they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings. Welcome back to the Dave Ramsey Show. Anthony O'Neill and Dave Ramsey here. Anthony, I'm my co-host, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Robin is with us in Dallas, Texas. Hey, Robin, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking my call, Dave and Anthony.
Our pleasure. How can we help?
Okay, well, I'm 26. I'm a teacher. This is my last year of teaching. I'm going to go through a career change. So I just want to know what I should do with my money in my pension, the state pension, and my 403Bs. I don't think the 403Bs are invested very well because when I signed up for them, I just wanted the financial planners out of my classroom. So I just said yes to a bunch of stuff I didn't know what was going on.
Okay. Anthony?
Yeah. So, Robin, here's what I would suggest. As far you saying you're transitioning to a new job, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So what I would suggest is get with a financial advisor and let's talk about rolling that over to like a Roth IRA.
Okay. Should I do that before? Because I have to go to school first. So, because I want to be a nurse practitioner. So should I do that before I go to school or once I'm secure as a nurse or a NP?
Yeah, I would just roll it to a traditional IRA, not a Roth. You don't want to activate the taxes on it.
Okay.
So I'll disagree with Anthony on that part. But the idea of rolling it, and it doesn't matter, but it's better to go ahead and do it as soon as you leave, and that way it's done. Okay. So go to DaveRamsey.com, click SmartVestor, and it will drop down a list of the SmartVestor pros, the people in the investment business that we recommend. And you're not trying to get them out of your classroom. As a matter of fact, you're trying to go to their classroom.
Okay.
And you're trying to go that direction. Sit down with them, and they'll help you do a direct transfer rollover. All right, Hans is with us in Miami, Florida. It says on my screen you are debt-free, Hans. Congratulations. Whew.
Thank you so much. What a pleasure to speak to both of you. You guys are amazing individuals.
Thank you. How much have you paid off?
$52,000. $2,023.
And how long did this take?
This took 1 year, 6 months, and 25 days.
Got it. Hours. And your range of income during that time?
My income went from 25,000 up till 75,000.
Nice. I love it. What do you do for a living?
Well, I used to be a part-time adult education teacher, and then I received a promotion to a similar department, making me full-time. And then I took on a part-time teaching position within the same adult education. And then there were also some side gigs. I also work as a jiu-jitsu instructor, so I had privates. I was selling items on OfferUp. Anything that I could sell and get my hands on, I was getting rid of.
Way to go. What kind of debt was the $52,000?
This was Navient and Sally Mae. She got evicted, as you guys say.
Yeah.
It was Aldi, an auto loan, 4 credit cards. One was Kohl's. It was, Discover. It was Capital One. And then there was a CF&A Tire Plus card.
Wow. Way to go. What happened to you 1 year and 6 months and 22 days ago that got you on this journey?
Well, really what started is actually my girlfriend's mom. She recommended Dave Ramsey, and I never really had a plan for my money. It was just kind of I knew that one day I would figure it out, and then she mentioned to check out this guy, Dave Ramsey, and I read into you. Then I was hooked from the first day. I put on the podcast on my phone, and anywhere I would go, I would never listen to music. I would just listen to your lovely voices.
How old are you, man, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, actually, I just turned 29 on the 17th.
29. So tell me, why does a 29-year-old want financial freedom? Like, what's really driving you?
What an excellent question. Really, what's driving me is that, I was brought up in a household where credit cards were okay. And actually, my first credit card was it wasn't that I wanted to get it. It was kind of one of those, well, you should get one because you should build credit because you want to eventually, establish yourself as having a good credit score. So I was going off that idea, but it's more for my future.
Yeah.
Back in October, my girlfriend and I found out that we were going to be expecting June 6th. So from that moment, that changed my life, and it wasn't about me anymore. And it isn't about me. It's about the baby's future and her and I.
Yeah.
And it's a little emotional, but that's just my drive now. And I don't. It's not that I have a bad upbringing, but I just want to make sure that future generations of her and I are in the best possible position, and they don't go with the norm, and they know that there is a better way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's structured. It works. It works when times are bad, and it definitely works when times are good.
So what would you say what was the hardest thing throughout this journey? So we clearly understand your why now, because you're about to be a soon-to-be father. But throughout this almost 2-year journey, what would you say was the hardest process, the hardest thing to do?
The hardest thing to do, I would say the first 3 months, was just establishing that budget. I was never on a budget, and it was, it wasn't that I was living paycheck to paycheck because I was living with my parents, but establishing that budget in the first 3 months and just really getting a hang of, all right, I need to pay the minimum on these, and then I can put as much as I can possibly on the smallest debt and tackle it. And it was just, it provided a structure for me, and it really changed the way I looked at life.
Wow.
Way to go, man. Very proud of you.
Yeah.
Excellent job.
Yeah.
You're going to make a great daddy. Yeah. Great husband.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So when are you and your girlfriend getting married?
That's a great. That's okay. I expected it. We are actually we're working the baby steps on that, not financially, but today we are actually completing our move-in. We are moving in together, and we're building towards that. Okay. Anytime soon, she's actually next to me now, so I want to keep that right up next to my heart.
Yeah, okay. All right. We'll keep it on the down low for right now.
Yeah, we'll let it slide.
Good for you. Well, way to go, Hans. Very, very proud of you. Congratulations. Very well done. How's it feel now that you're there?
Oh, it's liberating. I just, 6 months ago, once I was debt free, I was a little shocked. I was like, I knew that I would get here one day, but being there now gave me way more control of my money. And as you say all the time, your greatest wealth building tool is your income. And it got to the point where I was able to save $4,000. I it purchased in cash Invisalign and actually got a $1,500 discount simply because I was paying in cash. And now anywhere I go, if I can pay in cash, I'll say, hey, if I pay in cash, can I get a discount? And it typically results in a couple $100s off. So it's been the best. It's been for the best.
Well done. Well, we got a copy of Chris Hogan's book for you, Everyday Millionaires. I want that to be the next chapter in you and your new wife's and your new baby's future. That's for sure. Millionaire Next Door, baby. Here we go. Everyday Millionaires, just for you. All right, Hans, $52,000 paid off in 1 year and 6 months, making 25 and scrapping and hustling up to 75. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
All right, guys. Move those ears a little far away from the headphones now. 3, 2, 1. I'm debt-free!
And yes, you are, sir.
I like how he did that.
Yes, you are. Well done.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
Having a reason to go through that much pain is necessary.
Yes.
You have to have something you want on the other side that's called a better life.
Yes.
In his case, something he wants to change his family tree for the new baby.
Yeah.
That's about as noble a calling as you can get.
Yeah.
And it changes everything when you have a big why.
It really does. If your why doesn't make you cry, Dave, I tell people this all the time, the price of commitment will.
Yep. One of the two is going to get you, baby.
Yep.
This is how it works.
Yeah.
Anthony O'Neill, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. This is the Dave Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Matthew 6:26. Look at the birds of the air. They neither sow nor reap nor gather into barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not of more value than they? Mark Twain said, the secret of getting ahead is getting started. Every time I read that scripture about the birds of the air, God feeds them, I always think of, but he doesn't throw the worms in the nest.
That's funny, Dave.
You got to get up. The early bird still gets the worm.
Yes.
God puts that worm out there, gives the bird the eyes to see it. Skid them. Giddy up, baby.
Yeah.
Get up. Get after it. You got to hustle. You got to grind, man. You got to bust it. You got to make your dreams come true. And then God has the opportunity to bless all of that action that you're putting out there, all that sowing that you're doing. You will reap because of his sunshine, his rain, and because of you having planted seeds. There's the magic of the two working together, the mystery of the two working together.
Yeah. I always tell people, Dave, that one of the greatest miracles that can ever happen to us is us doing what we need to be doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people that wait on God to do everything end up doing nothing.
Absolutely.
And people that think that God isn't there end up working really, really hard with minimal results.
You're right.
It's completely inefficient methodology in both cases.
Absolutely.
This is the overly religious, the oversaved, as our friend Michael says, and then on the other side, the undersaved. Yeah, you don't think God's there, or you think he's the one who's going to do it for you, like he's somehow a grandpa handing out sugar candy.
Come on, Dave.
All right, Angel is with us. Angel is in Dallas, Texas. Hi, Angel. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. How are you doing today?
Better than I deserve. How can Anthony and I help?
Oh, Anthony. Hi. How are you doing, too?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for asking.
Awesome. So me and my husband are on steps 4 and 6. You guys are so awesome. I'm super excited. So I'm filling out my 401k. This will be my first check that I will be doing this with. My company doesn't have a match, but I can do 15% with Roth 401k. My husband, he has a government job, and they have a 401a, and the most he can do for a traditional after-tax contribution is 10%. So my question for his is that they have an additional like 457B.
They have they have a 401a, but they also have a 401k, don't they?
No, they don't. They only have a 401a, and then they have an add-on. Yeah, and then they have an add-on that's a 457B, but that's pre-tax. So I'm wondering what I should do with him. Am I okay with me having my Roth 401k with no match doing the whole 15%? And with him, it's after-tax, and it is 10%. But that's the max we can do. But then they have this additional 457B.
Okay, let's stop and pan back. Yeah.
Okay.
And quit trying to do his and yours. Let's do ours.
Yeah. Okay.
So what is your household income?
Oh gosh, we bring like a 130 a year.
Before that's take home or that's gross?
No, that's gross.
Okay, so we want 15% of that. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Total. And then the most efficient way to get to 15% of that, we need that exact total.
Yeah.
And so let's see, 15,000 and 30 is 4,500, and so 19,500. So let's call it $20,000. You need to get to $20,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, so what I want to do then is I want to, as fast as I can, get to that 20,000 most efficient I can. Now, the best thing is to get a match. Neither one of you have a match available, right?
Yep.
But his government does. They give him 12% on the 401a.
Even if he doesn't put money in it?
That is correct.
Okay, so that's not a match.
Right.
He gets that either way.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we're not going to count that. That's just wonderful. That's just good money. Okay?
Yes, sir.
But you don't need to do something to get a match. So no match. The next best thing, as you've correctly identified, is Roth. He does not have a Roth. You do. But we're trying to get to $20,000 worth of Roth now.
Yeah.
Now, you can do 6. He can do 6. That's 12 on individuals. And then what do you make?
I make 75.
Okay. And so we might just load your 401k up and 2 individual Roth IRAs up to get to our $20,000.
That's it.
Oh.
That's it.
Your Roth at work, his Roth. I would rather let's do 2 individuals. That's 12,000. So I want to put 8,000 into your 401k, give or take. So, you can figure that out exactly however you want. But we'll probably do nothing at his work.
Okay. Okay.
Because the Roth individuals and the Roth at your work are both better than anything offered at his work. Yeah.
Okay. No, makes sense. Perfect.
And he's got marital rights to your stuff. You got marital rights to his stuff. So it's not like, in the event of a divorce or a death, on death you've got the beneficiaries you name. It goes right straight to him. He goes right straight to you. Either way, and in the event of a divorce, if it's all in your name at your work, he's going to get half of it.
Yeah.
So you're protected from those kinds of things, those worst case scenarios. So it's match first, Roth second, then traditional. And get to your number and establish what your number is first.
And I like how you said that too, Dave, because she was saying, hey, I'm going to put 15% of my income into my Roth. But what you said is like, hey, check this out. That 15% is going to be above the max of a Roth, which is $6,000, right? And then you're going to take the rest of your 15% and put that into a Roth IRA.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people get confused by it. Well, she's doing her 15%. Well, no, you got to look at the math overall. To get to the 20,000. I just really want to break that down to the listeners listening, because I remember when I first started out investing, I was like, well, I'm gonna put 10%. Then I noticed one time it went down because I had reached my limit.
Yeah,
and I couldn't invest anymore.
Yeah, but she didn't. In her case, if she puts 8,000 in and does 2 individuals, that gets us to 20,000. So that's like, what is that, $650 a month?
Yep.
Something like that gets her there into her 401k. and then do the 2 individuals with a SmartVestor Pro, and that gets us to $20,000.
Yes.
And that's your 15%, and then let him get his non-matching 12% over there that the government's giving him in that after-tax 401k, which is great.
Yeah.
I will definitely take free money. I always take free money. Free money is always a good thing.
Yeah.
But we don't have to do anything over there to match it. We don't want to do the 457 until way down the list of things to do.
Yeah. Let me ask this question, Dave, from you even teach me something on this. So for younger people now who, let's say, have a high deductible plan like me, and you have the HSA involved with it, would you still advise to do the 401k, go into your Roth IRA, and then save you have some more to invest? Are you cool with us going into the HSA?
After you maxed out everything else, if that's what it takes to get there.
Okay.
So like you got a 19.5 max on your 401k.
Yeah.
So let's say you're a high income earner.
Right.
And you do that, and then you do $6,000 in your Roth IRA.
Okay.
Even if it's a backdoor.
Right.
As a single.
Yes.
Okay. Then you could go load that HSA up.
Gotcha.
As another way of getting some money hidden. Like me, I'm in baby step 7, and so I max out anything I can.
Yeah. Okay.
I use my HSA as an investment vehicle because I don't use it for medical.
Gotcha.
And I just load it up.
Yeah.
And so, I have every year since George W.
Wow.
I mean, no, George Herbert.
Okay.
I think W put the HSA in place.
Okay.
So since he was in office a bazillion years ago, his first term, then that was the thing. I every year since then I have.
Wow.
And so and it's all in mutual funds.
Yeah.
So my HSA is several $100,000.
Love it.
Because I haven't had to use it for medical. Knock on wood, but. Yeah. Any medical we've had, we just paid out of pocket so as not to disturb what is essentially another investment vehicle.
Absolutely.
And the company we've got that we endorse on the air is the company we use here that my personal is in Health Equity.
Okay.
That company, you hear their ads running here on the air.
Yeah.
And, they've got a mutual fund option for your HSA once you get further down the road. But that's after you're maxing out everything for whatever reason, either because you're a high income earner or you're baby step 7.
Yes.
Okay. Either one. You don't start with the HSA as an investment vehicle. No. It needs to be used for health stuff early in your process. So, good stuff. Anthony, good show today.
Hey, thank you, Dave. Thanks for having me.
James Childs and Kelly Daniel in the booth. Great job, as always. I am Dave Ramsey, your host. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.